everyone, it's Nick here with Nick's hard rock CD album review. Hope everyone's doing well. The band we're going to look at today is the mighty Guns N' Roses. Now this was Use Your Illusion 2, which was released in September of 1991, and there's also a Use Your Illusion 1 album, which was released, it depends on which country, but either within the same week or a week after or a week before this album. So it depended on the country you're living in. But yeah, I'm doing Use Your Illusion 2 today, and I'll review Use Your Illusion 1 at a later stage. So we'll go through the tracks. We've got Civil War, 14 Years, Yesterdays, Knocking on Heaven's Door, Get in the Ring, Shotgun Blues, Breakdown, Pretty Tied Up, Locomotive, So Fine, Estranged, You Could Be Mine, Don't Cry, and My World. Now, I'll just go through the band members. Well, we've got a photo of them. There is Axl Rose, the lead singer. There is Duff McKagan, the bass player. There is Dizzy Reed, the keyboardist, and he joined the band for these two albums, and he's been in the band up until this day. So Dizzy Reed keyboards, Matt Sorum on the drums. Now he replaced the original drummer, Steven Adler. And actually Matt Sorum, before he joined Guns N' Roses, he actually played in the band The Cult. He was a drummer for the band The Cult. The Cult had quite a bit of success back in the late 80s and so. Izzy Stradlin, rhythm guitar, and Izzy also sings on a couple of songs as well. And Slash, lead guitarist there. Now, this album, well, it was huge. There's no word that can describe. It was a monster of an album. Use Illusion 1 and Use Illusion 2, absolute monster. Just to put it a bit of perspective into it, this album, just Use Illusion 2, this album, it sold 770,000 copies in the first week. In the first week, I'm not talking all up, the first week, 770,000 copies. Now that is just mind-blowing, it really is. And I've actually heard that as of 2010, as of 2010, 10 years ago, this album sold 5,587,000 copies in the United States alone. We're just talking about the United States. I mean, that is mind-blowing, absolute mind-blowing. And as I said, just for Use Your Illusion 2. Now, this album went number 1 in Australia, the United States, UK, United Kingdom, New Zealand, and Austria. Now, they did release 5 singles of this album. You Could Be Mine, which actually featured on the big Hollywood blockbuster movie Terminator 2, which featured Arnold Schwarzenegger. That song was on the soundtrack to that film. So that was a massive film back then in 1991. Knocking on Heaven's Door, which is a famous Bob Dylan song. Bob Dylan originally wrote that song and Guns N' Roses covered it. Yesterdays, Civil War, and Estranged. They were both released as singles. And I should say that the song Civil War has got the original drummer, Steven Adler, playing on it. And also just to put this into perspective in regards to the extent of the album sale of this album. Okay, this is a long list, so bear with me. Okay, it went 7 times platinum. Now you got to remember, platinum is 1 million plus copies. 7 times platinum, that's 7 million in the United States. 6 times platinum in Argentina. 5 times platinum here in Australia. 2 times platinum in Austria. Platinum in Brazil. 9 times platinum in Canada. 2 times platinum in Denmark. Platinum in Finland. Platinum in France. It went 5 times gold in Germany. 2 times platinum in Japan. Gold in Mexico. Gold in the Netherlands. Went platinum in New Zealand. platinum in Norway, platinum in Spain, platinum in Sweden, 3 times platinum in Switzerland, and platinum in the UK. And I mean, that is just phenomenal. I mean, the album sales that this album generated alone, we're not talking about Use Your Illusion 1, which I'm seeing if I can see down, I can't see it down there. It's in there somewhere. Anyway, Use Your Illusion 1, and I'll review Use Your Illusion 1 at a later stage. But that's just phenomenal for one album, you know. And you've got to remember there's another album with equally, you know, the amount of same songs on that album. It just showed how eager people were for Guns N' Roses, and that's why they became the biggest band in the world. They were bigger than the Rolling Stones. They were bigger than U2. You know, they were everywhere. And of course, they caused a lot of controversy wherever they went, you know, around the world, you know, anywhere in the world. Guns N' Roses went, they always caused some controversy that they couldn't escape it. And that was largely Axl Rose. But look, Guns N' Roses have always held a special place in my heart, and I still remember their debut album released in 1987, Appetite for Destruction, which I will review as well at a later stage. A absolutely mind-blowing album. But we're talking about Use Your Illusion 2 now, so... but there's a song called Get in the Ring. Now, that's pretty full on in regards to language, bad language on it. And that's actually aimed at the music critics that tried to put Guns N' Roses down, and obviously music critics tell lies and bend the truth. So that song is aimed at them, and Axl Rose just goes absolutely off. Also another song called Shotgun Blues, and that's actually aimed at Vince Neil, the lead singer of Motley Crue. Vince Neil and Axl had a big falling out, which dates back to 1989, and they still haven't made up to this day. They still hate each other's guts. So yeah, that song's equally pretty full on, and that's aimed at Vince Neil. But look, just and I've got to say that I actually saw these guys when they came to Australia back in '93. I went to see Guns N' Roses live in concert, and the mighty Skid Row, they opened up for Guns N' Roses. So I was in heaven. You know, I love Skid Row. I love Guns N' Roses. So I was in absolute heaven. Look, my favourite, it's very hard to narrow down my favourite songs off this album because I'm such a massive Guns N' Roses fan. But it'd have to be 14 Years, Pretty Tied Up, Shotgun Blues, Get in the Ring, So Fine, Estranged, You Could Be Mine, Don't Cry. Yeah, very hard to narrow it down. So, and look, I would give this album, I would give this album an 8 out of 10. Now, I should prefer Use Your Illusion 1 over this album. I prefer it just a slightly more, just over this, not much, but just slightly more over this album, Use Your Illusion 1. And for the life of me, I'm trying to see it, but I can't, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. But still, a massive, and you know, and Guns N' Roses are really, you know, they've really matured since their debut album, released in 1987. As I said, this was released in 1991, and it just shows you the depth. And you know, they got a few long songs like Breakdown, Locomotive, Estranged, and they're some of them are quite complex songs in regards to the musicianship and the playing. But it just shows you how far they've progressed. And you know, and they really push the envelope, these guys. They, in regards to how they lived their lives. I mean, a lot of, yeah. I won't go into detail about it. If you want to find out what these guys got up to, you can read it on Wikipedia or whatever. they were equally as bad as Motley Crue in regards to their partying and what they got up to, and their, yeah. I won't go into any more detail, but a true, as I said, they were the biggest band in the world, and a true testament. This album. And all Guns N' Roses albums. So, yeah, I give this an 8 out of 10. And I'm so glad that I had the privilege of seeing Guns N' Roses back in 1993. So, on that note, Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion 2, a absolutely fantastic album. So until then, take care, everyone. And as the Mighty Gunners did, they rocked hard. Keep on rocking, everyone. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.